Hey Sagittarius, a very warm welcome. My name's Drew, this is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, welcome back. Guys, this is all about the month of June. What to expect, what might be happening around you, your energetic field, your focus, your fears, and possible outcomes. All right, hopefully there's some nice surprises there. And, hopefully there's healing and all these kind of things going down in the month of June for you, Sagittarius. They didn't come together very well, those cards. Okay, your card wanted to show there. Card of Sagittarius, all right, Temperance there. Some of you are really finding balance and, not being so impatient throughout the month of June. That fire, Sagittarius, you might be reeling it in a little bit, slowing down time, Sag. Let's have a look. So, this might be key, all right? It's just an undercurrent of the reading, but watch out for non-reciprocal situations, working for people where you're not being paid the right amount of money, giving to friends, family, all these kind of things where, it's not an equal give and take. Romantic relationships where you're putting in more work than the other people, or it could be the other way around. We can flip the script in tarot. It could be Sagittarius, acting that way, all right? But it might be topical throughout this month. It's just an undercurrent. Center of this reading, Ace of Pentacles. This is an auspicious card for money, all right? This is money offers and these kind of things, all right? So some of you, you might have a nice surprise, okay, throughout the month of June when it comes to money. Offers of new salaries, rises, these kind of things. Inheritance, many things, but it comes out of nowhere, it might be a bit of a surprise for you. The challenge throughout the month of June. We've got the King of Wands here. Okay, we're going to go deeper with this reading. Could be a fellow fire sign, King of Wands. He's pretty handsome, this dude. He's confident, walks into a room, he commands attention, but it's a challenge. We're going to see what this is. The reason why it's all happening, we've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. The Eight of Pentacles in the upright is, this talks about putting in the hard work, okay? If it's, it's working hard in your careers, it's working hard in your place of work, it's working hard in relationships, it's putting in the effort in reverse. So, this reading so far would be, some of you want to offer a practical new start to someone, but they're not putting in the work, and the challenge is that you find them really attractive, this person, just for some of you, all right? Recent past here, maybe this King of Wands was, non-committal. We've got the Hierophant in reverse here, non-traditionalistic. But in the recent past, there might have been like a lack of commitment here. You didn't think that someone was putting in the work, all right? Your focus is, were you being duped, okay? Ace of Swords in reverse. It's like, getting to the truth. It could be cutting something out, okay? Some of you, you might be offering, something to somebody else because, this particular King of Wands, male or female, it's an energy, right? Wasn't showing up and putting in the work and were non-committal. And your focus is to cut it out, just for some of you. It's not a personal reading, guys. What you don't see coming towards you, okay, just watch, you might be feeling a little bit unstable. Some of you might not really want to be at home too much throughout the month of June. You might want to, keep it moving and get out there and socialize, a lot, because you're not feeling like being at home, Netflix and chilling. Your energetic field is one of letting go. What are you letting go of, Sagittarius? Four of Pentacles, this is holding on. This is the miser card in tarot. He's holding on to his resources. He's stubborn. He's not giving anything away. In a relationship, it would be holding on to a relationship, okay? But your energetic field is just letting stuff go, all right? Outside influences, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Things might have been moving or come to a standstill or going super slow. Was it this King of Wands that wasn't showing up and committing? Just for some of you. Okay, it's a fear of yours. I think you fear some kind of truth, okay, with the moon. The moon in the upright, guys, talks about illusions, secrets. It talks about, it can be fantastical thinking with the moon, it's illusions. In reverse, a fear of yours is, you're kind of like fearing the truth. It's almost like, was my intuition correct? Okay, and the outcome is Five of Pentacles. All right, just watch out when you cut people out, Sagittarius, because they weren't showing up in the way that you would like. After a certain amount of time, you might feel empowered when you cut it out and go, right, that's it, no more. And then it might slowly come around, and you feel left out in the cold, okay, due to your cutting something out which wasn't good for you. And so, that might come from instability. So just watch out that you don't reach out to people that you've cut out, because that shows weakness, okay? In relationships, the dumper feels powerful for a certain amount of time, and the dumpy feels disempowered. And normally you get a lot, of these people trying to get their exes back. And I think there's this whole thing about no contact, and to a certain degree, it can be used for manipulation, but it really is about understanding human nature. And it's like, okay, so you don't want to see me anymore, and you leave, and you close the door gently behind them, and you go about your life in Nine of Pentacles energy, because the power of that dumper gradually diminishes, and they go, what have I done? Because they feel powerful in that moment. So never chase anyone that's actually said, hey, look, this isn't working out, I'm leaving. Let them go and give it time. Don't be on their case trying to get them back and all these kind of things, all right? So just watch out that you're not making decisions, okay, from a place of lack throughout September. June, okay? September might be important for some of you. Don't know why I said that. We're in June, right? Let's have a look. So I want to clarify this now. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles, remember that is a financial offer that's offering someone some form of grounded, stable offer, a commitment. Why is that here for Sagittarius throughout the month of June? Let's have a look. Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Pentacles again in reverse here. It's an interesting set of cards, guys. I'm just wondering whether some of you are in that very situation there where you've seen no effort put in by somebody, and you kind of like want to, make a stable offer. All right. Challenge is the King of Wands. What's this doing here? And then the Page of Wands. There might have been an age difference just for some of you, okay? Failing that, somebody might have switched up. They might have acted like the King of Wands and then switched up and became kind of like a Page of Wands, like very immature when it came to getting real with situations. And that's a bit of a challenge. Yeah, and somebody became guarded. Was this you, Sagittarius, or did this person, were they guarded against you? You weren't really putting in the effort. Okay, we can flip the script. Recent past, okay, Hierophant in reverse. Yeah, somebody was a bit Knight of Wands, a bit opportunist, in and out, a bit of a charmer, anywhere I lay my hat is my home, these kind of things, all right? And I'm just wondering whether, Sagittarius, you saw that and you've cut it out, and your focus is healing that. Healing from someone's maybe disingenuous behavior, okay, throughout the month of June. But you don't see coming towards you. Okay, some of you, this could be, the end of a relationship with the Four of Wands in reverse here, 1111. But, it is a relationship card in many forms. And then we've got, the Four of Pentacles. So some of you might be kicking people out, okay, if you were living together throughout the month of June, or you're thinking about it, and you're holding on to what's yours. So, if you've amassed certain things together in relationships, you will be holding on to, hey, look, that was mine, that came out of my salary, and blah, blah, blah. So just for some of you, select few, not a personal reading, remember, guys. And then we've got, you might be a bit conflicted, okay, that you want to let it go, or let something go, Sagittarius, and then you want to work on it again, okay? Just watch your internal conflicts. Do I cut it out, or do I try and heal the situation? Maybe if I offer them something really stable, they might show up. Well, maybe they won't, Sag, This person might have, it might be a man-child with the King of Wands here and then the Page of Wands, all right? So this might be someone that they look great, they look mature, handsome, pretty strangers, but inside they're still a bit of a man-child, woman-child, okay? And they don't know how to show up in relationships in that form, You can apply it to work as well, okay? Someone promising you the world, but really they don't have a pot to piss in, these kind of things. Um, so outside influences, you might be getting the truth or coming to the realization that, you know what, I see clearly now, the rain has gone. There's a song for you, Sagittarius, that someone's just not putting in the effort here. Okay, you're fearing, oh my God, look, I can't make this up. You're fearing the truth, and some of you, again, it's an internal conflict. Okay, it's a fear of yours that, yeah, I'm coming out of confusion. No, I'm confused again. You know, do I let it go, or do I put the work in? Do I cut it out, or do I try to heal it? All right. And the outcome is the Five of Pentacles. Okay, for some of you guys, just watch out. Someone might be spying on you, or you might be spying on somebody, Sagittarius, throughout the month of June. And just be careful of that, because if this is the outcome where you're left out in the cold, this person has decided to carry on in their Knight of Wands energy. By you spying on them, you're actually perpetuating more feelings of lack and being left out. So, invest your time in healing rather than spying. Okay, if you're drawn to that, and that's just curiosity. Very often when there's a lack of closure, people ghost and all that, people don't have any choice but to try and find out the truth by their own measures and means, by spying a little bit. It doesn't have to be stalkerific, guys, driving around someone's house late at night and all these kind of things, or sitting in the same restaurant in the corner in a disguise while the King of Wands is out in his Knight of Wands energy with another chick or dude, right? So, just watch that, right? Nip it in the bud. Just go, hey, look, no, this is actually not helping my abundance in my own life. Watching somebody else, go off and be the Knight of Wands, happy-go-lucky, opportunist behavior, jumping from person to person or any situation that, floats their ego, while you're suffering and feeling lack, and doing it to yourself, I might add, with spying too much or looking too much into situations. Sometimes we've got to give ourselves our own closure, Sag, and we can do that by, hey, I accept the apology I may never receive. As a way of giving yourself closure. You can forgive that person internally as your own internal work, as with the star energy. You don't have to tell them that you've forgiven them or anything like that, but you've done it yourself. You've given yourself your own closure, right? It's powerful stuff. Tell me more. What was this in the past? I place value on money and status rather than connections. Recent past, non-committal, Knight of Wands energy. Was this you, Sag, or was this somebody else? All right. You're healing. All right. Some of you might be going through a bit of a dark night of the soul. All right. Brilliant. It's an amazing journey. Painful as hell. But, once you come out the other side, you're completely different, and you just show up in the world in a completely different way, and you have no time for this kind of behavior. Let's have a look at this. Sometimes I just need to be alone with my thoughts. Don't take it personally. This is like somebody not putting the work in. They're a bit guarded, and they're being alone with their thoughts. Your energetic field. The internal conflict, do I let it go? All right. Not be so stubborn. Maybe I let it go. Or do I put the work in? And then I like the togetherness I feel with you in reverse. Again, it's a conflict, right? You're the best thing that ever happened to me. It's an internal conflict for some of you Sagittarius throughout the month of June, about letting something go that maybe needs to be let go, and rather than putting extra work into it. It seems like some of you guys might have been dealing with someone that was, they just couldn't show up and they just couldn't commit. All right. And just because they're not committing, it doesn't mean to say that you've got to do more to try and get them to commit, because you flirt, extend your light-hearted energy to others. Okay, Sagittarius. So, get back in your fire spirit if this kind of stuff is going down. Let's have a look. Past life relationship. You've known each other before. Very often when we're dealing with characters like that and we're magnetically drawn to them, Sometimes it can be past life karma playing out in this lifetime, and there's this draw. It makes no sense to be with this person. They just bring me, bring up all these wounds. They're in your life to heal, and to get clear with ourselves rather than, Ace of Swords in reverse, the Ace of Swords upright, getting clear with ourselves and healing. So let's have a look. I want some advice for you throughout this month. I'm going to take this, what you could consider regarding this situation. Some of you could practice cord cutting if you feel that this person's still on your mind throughout the month of June when they might have been superficial. They placed money on, they placed value on money and status rather than connections. This is not someone that's here. They're here for a chapter in your book. They're not the whole story, right? Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. All right. So don't give up on the idea of love. Okay. Acceptance. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. In reverse, some of you haven't accepted it. And hence you might be in some kind of internal conflict. Just watch the spying, guys, because you just be breaking your own heart time and time again. It's already been done to you, right? Why would you do it to yourself? Just nip that in the bud, okay? I know you might need some truth and clarity, but will you ever get it, Let's have a look. For Sagittarius throughout the month of June. Self-expression, okay? Visualization, individuality, inner voice, assertiveness. There's a lot of blue, okay, in this reading. And so communication is going to be very important, Sagittarius. Communicate your needs, communicate where you are in life, For those of you that might be going through a bit of a dark night of the soul, maybe get some counseling or, speak to, get some wise counsel, people that are got their life together and they're in healthy relationships and they're doing well in business and all these kind of things, communicate with these people as opposed to, people that are opportunists and non-committal, selling you a pipe dream, and people that are quite shallow, Let's have a look. Some advice, a positive message, right, to take into this month. It's not a negative reading, guys. I think it's about growth. As always, we're constantly growing and healing, aren't we? And the more we reject that which isn't right for us, rather than staying conflicted about it, the more we reject it, the more the universe, God, or however you place your belief system, can send us something else, right? You're protected. It's go time, Sagittarius. You're currently being protected. The universe has your best interests at heart. Move forward fearlessly and have courage. So move forward. Just watch that spying, guys, all right? Keeps jumping out to me there. People perpetuate their own heartbreak by keep on doing that, Career. Your career holds an exciting, positive energy around you right now. Expect miracles. Back to the start of the reading. Some of you might get some kind of raise, promotion out of the blue when you thought, I've gone as far as I can go in this position with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you might have a bit of a surprise there. Some of you, the challenge might be that you're thrown into a role with the King of Wands here where you really need to be confident and have your shit together, but internally you just feel like, I don't know enough. Confidence, might be an issue with you around this new opportunity. Look, it's a great reading, okay? There's growth there. There's healing. I think it's just internal conflicts. You need to get clear with yourself throughout the month of June. But, healing takes time, Sagittarius. And be easy with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Be patient with yourself, I think. This Knight of Wands, King of Wands character, whoever this might be for you, okay? Let's have a look. Wishy-washy, indecisive. Ringing any bells? Love the thrill of the chase. Right, some of you, it might have been long distance, just for some of you, a handful of you, okay? They thrive on being mysterious at times. This is the kind of person, if this is for my female viewers out there, this would be the kind of dude that would have read books about pickup artist techniques. Do you know what I mean? How to manipulate attraction of women, these kind of things. This is this kind of character. You can't build with that. It's too superficial. Okay, they might be, wishy-washy, in and out behavior, very Knight of Wands, and then the King of Wands and the Page of Wands, a man-child. Got a lot of growing up to do. May have been an age difference too, all right, just for some of you. Again, it's not a personal reading, guys. I want to leave you with the song Sagittarius, all right? The band might mean something, the lyrics might mean something, just the words in the title might mean something to you, some subliminal message in this for you. Let's have a look. Sagittarius, if you were a song. Listen to it once. If it's not your genre, you don't have to listen to it again, right? Dreams, Fleetwood Mac. Players only love you when they're playing. Wishy-washy, Thrill of the Chase. That might be a song for you. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. Check it out. Listen to it once, see what feelings come up, guys, and, have a look at maybe what needs to be healed. But just watch this, guys. This Page of Swords. Don't perpetuate more of the same feelings of, being left out in the cold or abandoned, Do something instead of that to make yourself feel good and attractive and confident again, okay? Don't, base the rest of your life on someone's poor treatment of you or someone's wishy-washy behavior. That's a reflection on them, not you, Sagittarius. One of these, it's never ending, your reading. I keep giving you cards. So, let's have a look. Now, this might be you, okay? Everyone's accountable here. No judgment on modern tarot, but this could be Sagittarius, Cross-watchers, watch these readings, right? I believe I'm worthy of feeling good, Sagittarius. To feel worthy of feeling good means you don't spy because you're worth more. You're not going to do it to yourself, Sagittarius, all right? So, that's a real, keeps calling to me in that corner of that reading there. It's just this internal conflict to try to get clear with yourself. And I understand that some of you might be in a bit of cognitive dissonance, some kind of dissonance there where you're still attracted to the person. And, it might have been, a bit of a powerful connection there with, past life relationship, and they're hard to let go of, all right? Because, you're meeting a fragment of a soul from a different lifetime, right? It's interesting. That's going a bit deep anyway for this reading. So look, Sagittarius, I hope you enjoyed that. My name's Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you want a personal reading, you can reach out at moderntarot.net or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to help you and give you some clarity in your personal situations. In the meantime, Sag, look after yourselves, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you back here for another reading. Take care. Bye.